Now, Iran is pushing its Big Brother crackdown on women by installing even more cameras in public places to enforce the Hijab law. Here's Iran's police chief.
With the use of advanced technology and equipment, the person is identified. She will be warned. Then, that person will be introduced to the judicial system with the documents to deal with the issue. Businesses that do not abide by the hijab law will be warned first. Then, they will receive the warning of being closed, and then they will be closed. This warning includes halls, restaurants, and large shopping centres.
We are joined now by Arash Azizi from New York University. Thank you very much for joining us. How far will this regime go, and how far can it go with the resistance inside the country?
They have shown that they would never give an inch on the question of hijab and compulsory veiling. They see this as fundamental to the rule, and they see this as really one thing that they've been able to successfully hold on to. They have been able to force millions of Iranian women to cover up despite them not wanting that, and so they'll never give it up. This has been clear to me and to many others who've said it for a very long time, that so long as Khamenei is the supreme leader, they won't give it up. And by the way, it's not just the news of the new cameras that we've heard. In the last few days, many the Friday prayer leaders in Qom, in Tehran, in Mashhad, in various cities, Khamenei himself a few days ago, all spoke about this as an issue that they won't compromise on. At the same time, those who are sort of experts, who are a bit realistic, even those who are inside the regime, they speak of how of the folly of this plan, as in the way that it's very hard to implement, that there would be a lot of resistance to it, and that millions of women who have been sort of a bit more lax with this law in the last few months simply won't go back to the previous status. So the regime wants to enforce this, but it's not easy.
I wanted to ask you about the protests, because we haven't seen many lately. Is this a correct impression?
Well, we had, the mass protests will always only go on for some months, and then they'll stop, and then there will be need another reason for them to go on. In the last few days, actually, we saw quite a few other demonstrations. There have also been repeated demonstrations in other places, in some places in Iran, like the city of Zahedan in the southeast, which has had repeated demonstrations every Friday. But the reality is that the protesters have a very tough task, because they don't really have political alternatives. Unfortunately, the opposition abroad has not really been able yet to offer a very coherent alternative. There have been some efforts there, but there's still a lot more to be done. And inside, all the people who could play a political leadership role are in prison effectively, or heavily restricted otherwise.
Right.
So that's the reason why the protests have up and down. But this dissatisfaction in Iranian society, if you open any newspapers in Iran, will tell you, goes on as it was before, and people will find other channels to come out and protest against this regime that they've shown they detest.